Oh, by the way, tell me, anybody, if you're playing anything good recently. Oh, you know, I know what I was going to do. Let me tell you something then. Okay. I was playing Farcry 3. Alright. And I just started playing it, and oh man, it just started like. Now I like the game because I'm almost finished with it, right? But there were things that were just driving me nuts. And at one point, it just started like it was like the game never. It was crazy because when you're running around, when I'm running around, it has a really great like shooting system where you're shooting and it feels really good. The guns feel really great when you're firing and stuff. It feels really good. So it's you're supposed to be in if you don't know the game, you're supposed to be like a tropical island, and you're this kid in spring break or like some kind of break, I don't know, and some crazy guy is taking over the island or whatever, and your friends get kidnapped and you have to go rescue your friends. All right. Now that's the simple version of it, right? But the thing is, you could run around the island, collect herbs, like hunt down animals, and create like your own pouches and all stuff like this and everything. You have to do that, and that's basically it's a lot of busy work. But you could attack these little bases. There's little outposts, and there are a bunch of them, maybe like, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them on the map. And like at an outpost, there'll be, I don't know, 5 or 6, well, there'll be anywhere from like 5 to like 9 guys. Yeah, as you get further into the island, it has more, the earlier ones have less. But you attack the outposts, and the thing is, you could like sneak up and like grab guys and stab them in the back and drag the bodies over around the thing. And there's an alarm in the outpost, and the harder outposts have more alarms. They'll have 2 or 3. The first ones will only have like 1. And you could either shoot the alarm or sneak up and disable it, right? And so when you do that, if you don't do that, sometimes they'll be behind stuff, so it's hard to get to them or hard to shoot them or anything. So, oh, look at that zombie on top of the wall there. Okay. So, the thing is, you could sneak. Oh, he jumped off. Huh? He did, look. Okay. So, you're sneaking in there, and it's fun as hell to sneak, and like, if you don't disable the alarm will go off, and more guys will just keep showing up and showing up and showing up. And so it's like difficult, it's sort of fun at the same time. And it's fun using the guns in the game. Like really fun. It has a really great, smooth sort of gun mechanic. And it's just a blast shooting them. And that's the thing, it's like really fun to just shoot the guns and stuff, And so one of the things is like, I just wanted to run around the island shooting stuff and just breaking into these places and this type of thing. Breaking into the outposts, collecting the stuff. I sort of like the fun sort of busy work running around in the island. Now I know that's actually the opposite, but it's like of most people want the story and stuff. But I just had an absolute blast. Then I jumped in the boat. The skeleton jumped in the boat. Look, he's sitting in the boat. Did he? Okay. But anyway, I just like running around and doing stuff, and every time I was like, all right, I'll start. Sometimes you will have to, in order to get like the next level of pouch or ammo pouch or whatever, that type of thing, you have to do stuff like take another mission, or it'll be like you can't do that unless you get higher, more missions or something, that type of thing. So you'll have to, by missions I mean the storyline, right? So you have to end up doing story missions, And whenever you do the story missions, one of the things was everything takes forever in the story mission. for guys to do stuff, and second, it's like they'll never let you go. It will never let go of you. You can't just do one thing and then stop and go, okay, I'm gonna go back to attacking the outpost now for a little while. It's like you have to go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and you're like, God damn, let me go. I want to play the game. And the thing is, like, they'll be constantly. Hold on, let me put my armor on here. And the game constantly. Oh wow, I only have 12 arrows. Okay, I should have put my arrows in here. Alright, well, too bad. I don't plan on shooting my arrow too much. And put that away, and yeah, because all I need is, okay, yeah, that's, where's the, here it is. But the game seems to, like, just thrill in not letting you, wait, like, it sucks you in and won't let you go, and it won't let you get back to doing what you were doing, which was having the fun, you know? And the story just starts getting, like, ridiculously stupid. It starts getting just bad. And there was a point where I came across something and I was like, no, that's not the story, right? And when I figured out, yes, that was the story, I just burst out laughing. And it was basically, to say it real quick, it seemed like the story was the kid gets laid and then he becomes a man. Like, I'm a man now. I got laid. I'm a man now. I got laid by the hot Islander chick. I'm a man now, and I'm a warrior. She keeps on going like, you're gonna become a warrior soon. And then some point, like, boom, suddenly she sleeps with him, and then suddenly he's like, I'm the warrior. That just was like, no, that can't be it. That can't be the story. Like, he just got, it's like, that's the story. Pussy make me brave. That's the story. And I was like, that can't be it. It can't be like, just, he got laid, so he got laid by the High Islander chick, and then suddenly he's like the warrior now? I was like, what about the 900 billion other people I slaughtered by knife alone? And, apparently, apparently he's not a warrior until he got laid by that chick, by this woman. And then I was like, what? Really? And that's what it boils down to. If you really play the game and you're playing it, and you look at it and you're like, oh my god, that really is the story. Is that the guy basically, he became a warrior because he got laid. He's like, I'm a man now. I'm a real boy now. I got laid. I was like, no. Is that it? And yes, that's it. That's the entire story. Oh my god, I'm back here. And I was just like... But the thing was, they kept on holding off and forcing me to do stuff, and they're going, alright, you have to go over here and do this, and you have to go over here and do that, and you have to go over here and do that. I was like, man, this better be worth it. And then suddenly, it's like, they make me do all the stuff that he didn't want to do over and over again, and stuff like, like, okay, here's an example of something where I go through this whole mission, and it was sort of difficult, right? It was hard because supposedly you got, like, captured, you got, like, knocked out, and this guy keeps on trying to kill you. The guy Voss, the main bad guy, who's pretty good. But, he keeps on trying to kill you, but he keeps on missing, not killing you. Right? And it was the stupidest thing. The first time I was like, okay, of course you have to live, because otherwise the story's not going to keep going, right? I mean, what else is going to happen? Of course you're going to live. But, so... he turns around and he kills you like 3 more times. Or he does stuff that'll kill you like 3 more times. but you miraculously keep on escaping it. I'm like, oh god, this the first time, okay, second time, third time, no. And it was like, why? Because why was the? It was like the third or the fourth time. It was why? Because stuff like, you had a lighter in your pocket and they shot you. You know, he was like, oh, how come you're not dying? So he finally like, why didn't you shoot him in the first place? You know, shoot me, my character, in the first place. But I was like, okay, whatever. And you know, he turns around and goes to shoot you, and you have a lighter in your pocket, and you know the bullet hits the lighter. I was like, oh, what, really? This is like the fifth time he tried to kill you or something. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, at this point, I was just like, whatever. Just let me get back to running around the island. It was actually fun. And you're on this mission. It takes a long time, and it'll do stuff like this. It constantly does this stuff where you're in this is one of the times you're supposed to die. You're in a helicopter. You have to make your way to this helicopter. So I fight my way to the helicopter, and I have to do this mission over and over and over again because you got knocked out and you have no weapons. So you have to steal a bunch of weapons from the guys you're like stealth killing, and then grabbing taking the weapons. So you're stealth killing and taking all that stuff, and so I end up with like an AK-47, a sniper rifle, like a handgun, and something else, right? Like a submachine gun or something. I finally get to this you're trying to get to this helicopter to prevent it, to get to it, right? Before I don't even remember why. You just had to get to this helicopter. So I finally get to the helicopter, right? And he jumps onto the helicopter. Now, this is after I just killed like 20 guys. Alright, he jumps onto the helicopter, and there's a pilot in the helicopter seat. And he jumps on, and I was like, okay, he jumps in, and then he runs up, grabs the guy's, oh wow, okay, whoa, alright, that's frightening. He grabs the guy's, gun out of his, he has a handgun in the holster, you know. So he grabs the guy's handgun out of his holster, and points it at him, and is like, take off, fly the plane. I was like, wait a minute, why did he grab the guy's handgun? You know, I was just sitting there like, what the hell? I was like, why did he... I have an AK-47, a sniper rifle, and a submachine gun. Why didn't I point any one of those at him? And just be like, take off. You know, I could just shoved it at his head and said, take off, you know? But, of course, you had to have the handgun, right? I mean, you know, why? Because suddenly a guy, as the helicopter's taking off, a guy comes running up, right? With a rocket launcher, and of course you can't shoot him because the guy's like, I don't know, 70, 80 feet away from you, outside the doorway. You could see him aiming the rocket launcher at you. I was like, why can't I shoot him with the submachine gun I have, or the AK-47, or the sniper rifle? Why? Because of course the story's like forcing you to, of course. He shoots the helicopter crashes, you get knocked out again. You know, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, you were right there at the doorway when the guy shot the rocket launcher at the helicopter. Helicopter's like maybe 100 feet in the air. I said, why didn't you die then? You don't die then, right? And the helicopter crashes. The rocket launcher the explosion didn't kill you. The helicopter crashes. And the crash doesn't kill you. You're suddenly okay. Voss comes up again and sees you, and that's when he pulls the shooting you and the lighter blocks his shot thing. I was like, what? I was like, God damn, seriously? Okay, whatever. Obviously I can't die. I'm the protagonist. I can't die, of course. And I was like, what? I was like, alright, whatever. Let me out of here. And, and then I was like, and it just kept on doing stuff like that. And then he doesn't die when he gets shot. He doesn't die. After all that, you'd still think, even if the bullet hit the lighter, you still think it would do enough damage to your chest or something, that after the explosion in the helicopter and everything, you would imagine that just all of that would kill you somehow, but they miraculously find you in a heap of dead bodies. You suddenly wake up, and hours, and it's within a few hours. Some of your friends or people who are helping you come along and find you. They thought you were dead. They were throwing you in a pile of dead bodies. People who are dead. And you wake up, and so it's only a few hours later, right? And suddenly you're running around again. You don't even take time to heal or anything. Like, your guy doesn't even acknowledge the thought that maybe you had to take a week off or something, like take 3 days to like rest up or something like that. You're immediately running off. And it was just, and then it was like, it was this mission. And it was just this guy, and one of the things is the guy keeps on, okay, that's enough. That should be enough, right? Oh, actually, I don't know if that's enough. You know what? Oh, wow, okay. You get some more. Okay, there was just this other thing. This guy, he takes so long to do stuff. He keeps on, the more it was annoying me, the more it seemed like he just kept on taking longer and longer and longer to do stuff. I felt like my character, that is. And it just felt like he was just taking forever to just do anything. So, I was sitting there and there was just, okay, all right, I won't even go into it. It just feels like he's taking forever to do stuff, right? And because it wouldn't let me go back to what I wanted to do, it kept on, stopping me from doing that. The game, I'm just like, it would do stuff like, as soon as that mission was done, where I was found in the dead bodies, and the guy picks me up and it's like, you okay? And you're like, yeah, and you're running off immediately. You're running off. It makes you appear in a spot. And I was like, okay, I want to go switch my weapons and stuff, and it wouldn't let me switch my weapons because I had to do the next part of the mission. I couldn't even, it was like a thing right behind me, and suddenly it was like, there's a time limit. You have to get to the spot real fast. Like, why? Why the hell are you forcing me to hurry up and get to the spot? There was no reason for a time limit there. Like, why can't I just go back to my weapons locker there and switch my weapons? Which was like right behind me. It wasn't like very far behind me. But I literally couldn't do it because the timer was running down and I wasn't sure how much time I had left. So we kept doing stuff like that, like constantly just doing stuff over and over and over again to me like that. Where suddenly there's like a time limit for no reason, or you have to hurry up, you have to get to the spot. You have to use an ATV to go to this place, hurry up, ride the ATV. I crashed the ATV, and it's like, well, how do I restart the damn mission? You can't. You have to wait for the timer to run out. Like, oh god damn, why are you doing this to me? It was like, it felt like it was constantly trying to just, I guess, pad out the time, really basically pad out the time. And it felt like the story was like separate from what you were doing. It felt like totally there was a part of the game that was the running around the island part, which was I was having fun with, and then there was the story part that just seemed to be in love with itself. And it'd be constantly forcing you to do it. And just constantly trying to force you back to the story, And I just was like, and there would be stuff like a stealth mission I have no idea why there was a stealth mission. There was this one mission where you had to, the stealth is fun in that game. Really fun. It's one of one of the few games I've actually had fun really stealthing and killing guys. But there was like a part where you get to this island. You finally get to this island. Now, I won't even go into the trouble I had to get to this island. It was sort of irritating. Oh, all right. Hey, here's the thing, right? You land on the island, right? That's going to be going on a little bit, right? You finally get to the island. You get in this plane. This guy says he'll give you a ride to the island to get on the plane. You won't get in the goddamn plane. You guys sitting there, you won't get in the plane. It's driving me nuts. You guys take it forever to get in the plane. I'm like, get in the goddamn plane for God's sake. I just want to get to the island. And I get to the island. Now, this was building up over time. I mean, I wasn't doing this at first. It was like everything that seemed to be building up like this. It's kind of getting to the point where you're getting really impatient, you know? So you get to the island, and it was doing stuff like this. Like, first of all, I had to land at it. Like, it just has a waypoint where you're supposed to land on the side of the island. And I happened to pull my chute a little early. Now, you could swim around in the island all over the place. You could swim across the water. It's actually a lot of fun. So I land, I don't know, 300 feet away from the spot where it looked like they wanted me to go. And I thought, well, whatever, in the water. And I thought, okay, well, whatever, I'll just swim over, right? Take me an extra, I don't know, 10 seconds to get there. Because I landed on the water and I didn't land at the spot they wanted. And I had no idea. You know, I thought it was just a waypoint. It was get to the waypoint, land and get to the waypoint. It was like, no, do the mission over again. You didn't land in the right spot. I was like, oh, I was like, God, really? So you have suddenly you appear again. You have to do the whole thing over again. You get down, you land in the island. I landed on the right spot. It says, okay, go over and attack these guys and go over and attack these guys. I can't even remember why I was supposed to attack them. I have no idea why. It was like these 3 guys. Oh, to get a truck. Right, because you were supposed to go to this bar and meet somebody at this bar. Alright. I kill the guys, and then I'm looking at my map, and the bar that I'm supposed to get to is maybe the town that the bar was in was like the gate, the village gate is a village. Is, I don't know, 200 feet away. It was literally, I don't know, 15 seconds jog, like 15 to 20 seconds jog away. So I ignored the truck and was like, alright, you know, screw it. I saw some herbs there in the ground. I was like, I'll go pick up the herb and then just run over. You know, run over to the gate. I mean, I was thinking like, okay, you know, the whole point is to get to the bar, right? That's the whole point. So I don't have to take this car. I don't have to take this truck. And I was like, God damn, I don't have to get the truck, right? I just have to get to the bar. And the bar's right there. It's only 200 feet away. So I'm like, alright, I just run over. I start jogging over, and of course, no, mission failed. You're too far away. You ran too far away from the truck. You know what? I was like, no, seriously? So the whole point is I have to take the truck? I have to? Yes, I have to. You have to jump in the truck. You have to get in the truck. You have to get in the truck, drive 200 feet, you know, get out of the truck, close the door and everything, and then go back to, you know, and then go to the bar. You know, goddamn you, how dare you try to walk there when it's right there in front of you. So the game does stuff like that, you know. And what killed me was one of these things was you talk to the guy starts going, oh yeah, you know, oh you're so-and-so. I can't remember the guy's name you're supposed to be. And he's like, oh, too many people know you from your tattoos in your arms. And by the way, this guy has like a bazillion tattoos in his arms. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, alright, whatever. I was like thinking, okay, you know what, what do I do? Just cover it up? I have to get a shirt or what? And they're like, oh, go get an island uniform. Get one of the mercenaries uniform. There's some mercenaries in the island. Okay, go get a mercenaries uniform. I'm like, alright, whatever. What do I have to do? I have to sneak in someplace, get a box of uniforms or something? Is that what's going on? I was like, alright. You know, so the guy says, oh, you have to get a recruit uniform. I'm like, what? Recruit uniform? What the hell is that? Right? I'm like, why am I getting a recruit uniform? Why can't I just get any old uniform? I'm only, the whole point is I'm trying to just cover up my arms, isn't it? I was wondering why I can't just wear some thermal underwear, like a long shirt or something, and or some bandages. There were these guys running around the island with flamethrowers, like, constantly. I was like, yeah, I can't just say I burned my arms a little bit and I gotta recover, and put some bandages on my arms and just wrap them up, or what? Is somebody gonna go, no, you didn't, you're lying. By the time anybody's close enough to say that to me, I'm shooting them in the face. So I was like, why the hell do I have to get a recruit uniform? And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell army has guys in the field and has, like, recruits running around in the field with them, a mercenary group? One of the things I was thinking was, like, why the hell would you do that? If you're an army group, if you're a mercenary group, you're going to tell everybody by giving them the people a separate uniform or separate recruit uniform so that everybody knows, well, that base is full of recruits. They're all wearing recruit uniforms. Let's go attack that place. Or, let's attack from the side where the recruits are. They'll be really slow to react. Look, see, they're wearing the recruit uniform. Like, why would you give somebody, is the recruit uniform like a different camouflage or something? And what the hell is that? I don't remember too many armies having, like, it's like if you're in basic training, okay, you have a different uniform maybe, but how many damn armies are running around with, like, guys with different camouflage suits because they're recruits? We just want to tell everybody who wants to kill you that you're a recruit and you suck. So shoot you first. Anyway, I was like, okay, I was like, oh, please tell me I don't have to do some kind of stupid thing for a recruit uniform. Yes, you have to do a stupid thing. You have to sneak into a place, not shoot anybody, because they'll be alerted. Right? Then you have to do this long stealth mission where you can't kill anybody. You can't attack anybody. You have to just... And it seemed like... And it kept trying to tell you how to, like, do stealth and stuff like that. Like, I was like, what is this? Like the beginning mission of the game? Like one of those, like a tutorial mission? It was trying to tell you, like, this is how you throw a rock. It's like, god damn, and remember, this is 3/4 of the way through the game. And it's like, it's trying to tell you how to do stealth 3/4 of the way through the game? After I murderized everybody? With a knife? It was, what the hell? It was like I was suddenly trying to do a stealth mission on, like trying to give you a tutorial on how to do stealth, and then when you're practically at the end of the game. So anyway, I finally do the whole thing, and it's annoying as hell, of course. I do the whole thing. You get to a uniform, and you get to a guy, and what do? You kill him. It's a recruit, and what do? You knife him in the back and take his uniform. I was like, why couldn't I have just done that before with somebody else anywhere else? Why did I have to sneak my way through this entire base just to kill a guy? And I was like, okay, all right, maybe, like, put it this way, think of it like this, like, there's like hundreds of these guys in the bay on the island. Like hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them, right? So they're not gonna say, like, hey, you're Johnson. You're not Johnson. I know Johnson. And I could just be like, I'm another guy named Johnson. What are you talking about? I'm not the guy Johnson. I'm somebody else. I'm a new guy. Look, who's got here? What the hell difference does it make what the name tag on my uniform says? It wouldn't. So it didn't have to be a recruit. It could have been anybody. I could have killed any guy. As long as it was some kind of strange name, you would be like a once-in-a-lifetime name. I kill any guy named Smith or something, and if they say, hey, you're not him, I go, what do you know? How do you know every single mercenary on the entire island? What the hell? I'm a new guy. I just came in last week. You don't know me. I'm another guy named Smith. Right? So why couldn't I have just taken any damn uniform? And this is what kills me is, you get in line, you get the recruit guy, you get the recruit uniform, you get in line for a recruit thing, and suddenly a guy comes up and there's no name, as far as I can tell, there's no name tag on your uniform. There's a barcode. Because a guy comes up to you with like a barcode reader, scans your uniform. He's like, oh, okay, Johnson, yeah, that's you. I was like, wait a minute. If it's a freaking barcode and nobody can eat, that's even worse. Nobody could see the name on the uniform, and it's just a barcode. Then what the hell, is somebody going to see the barcode and be like, hey, that's not the barcode you're supposed to have? You know, like, how would they know? How would they possibly know? I was not the right person. So why did I have to go through that whole damn thing? I could tell you why. Because suddenly there's a meeting with the main bad guy, with another bad guy. By the way, you kill the bad guy, boss. And then there's another, of course, his boss, another bad guy. The bad guy badder than he is. So you get to the bad guy badder than he is. And badder than the other guy you were chasing the whole game. And suddenly you're like, oh, I have to cook this stuff up. Okay. And so suddenly, you know, he's holding a meeting for everybody. So, I don't know, he's holding a CEO meeting or something? He's holding I don't know, a recruits meeting or something? I was like, what is this? You know, does he come out and he personally talks to all the recruits and something, or gives them a pep talk or something? Of course, he's there to show off that he's the bad guy. He's real bad. He's a really mean person. He does the really mean things. And, you know, he does something where he burns some guy. He kills some guy by burning him. Like, oh, that's why I was like, my God, that's the whole reason for this mission. Was so we could see the meeting with him, and he could tell you, you know, so he could sit there and say what a bad guy he is. You know, so you could have it, so you could see him in person and see what a bad guy he is. He's such a meanie. He's such a bad guy. I was like, oh my God, that's the whole reason for that mission. You had to sneak all the way through there, do all that crap, for that one cutscene. Because otherwise, getting that uniform, doing all the crap to get to the uniform, made no logical sense at all. I was like, oh God damn, really? You made me go through all that just to have a cutscene? Why couldn't you have just shown me that? And I'm thinking, this guy, you're telling me there's no point in the game where I can't just, I have to go through all these missions to meet him, to do all the crap, to get a personal interview with him and all this shit. I'm like, why can't I just meet him and then just put a bullet through his head? It's like that type of thing. They won't let you do. I'm like, God damn it. I killed like 500 other guys. All I have to do is get up close enough to him to shove a bullet through his head and then jump in a boat and take off. But no, there's, oh no, God, no, you can't do that. You have to go through the story. You have to do the story. You have to see the story. It's so good, you have to see the story. I was like, no, just... I was like, no, just stop. Why are you doing this, man? I was like, can't I just go back to, like, shooting guys with a gun? I was like, God damn it. So, the game isn't bad. The game isn't terrible. I mean, I'm still playing it. I played it for a while. I actually really like the game. But it's just, like, oh, God damn, really? It just keeps forcing you to, like, do stuff that you're thinking, like, why did I have to do all this crap? Why? Why? Because it's going to show you the story. You have to see it. It reminds me of, like, a little kid that's like, no, you have to do it this way. You can't do it that way. You have to do this. You have to go over here. Like, do I really have to go over there? Yes, you have to go over there. That's part of the story. You have to do it that way. It's like, no. And like, that's what the story's like, And that's what it keeps reminding me of. And I keep thinking to myself, like, God damn. Just let me kill some people. I'm loving shooting this gun off. Just give me an excuse to shoot more of the gun. Stop with this crap. And just a lot of it seems like padding, It's just like they're just trying to pad it out. Because honestly, you could just shoot the guy in the head and take off or somewhere, The sniper rifle, all you have to do is get to a place where all you have to do is find out, once this guy seems to love having meetings with his recruits and stuff, or loves doing his showing off and doing his CEO meetings or some crap. I'm like, why? He's a mercenary guy. You would think if he was such a badass, you'd think he would just be, Mr. Big. He'd be in a room somewhere. Not dealing with the lower class people or something. The friggin' plebs or somewhere. But, and he'd be safe, in his place, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this guy seems to like doing that, so you're telling me that he can't be on a road somewhere, or he's going out to inspect something, and that's it? That's my chance? I could snipe him from like a mile away? And I'm like, oh, goddamn. It keeps on pushing it. Like, it pushes it and pushes it and pushes it. And it kept pushing the story real bad. And I'm like, and it's pushing the story so hard. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. I'll go along with the story. And I'm going along with it. And then that's what the story turns out to be. Like, goddamn, that's the story. That's the story. He got laid, so he's now the warrior. I was like, wow, really? So I guess it's supposed to be some kind of like metaphor for growing up. He has to become a man. Like that's how he, it's like, god damn, really? He becomes a man, so that's, he got laid, so he becomes a man? Is that what happened? I was like, god damn it, really? And I was like, oh god, wow. And part of the story was, I think was his girlfriend was trying to tell him, like, kept telling him stuff like, you need to grow up. You can't be such a little boy anymore or something. I think I remember her saying that in the beginning of the game. And so suddenly he's like, like that's it. That's the thing. It's like you need to grow up and I'm like, he's like a 19-year-old kid. He's like on spring break. He's like 19 on freaking spring break or something. What the hell are you talking about? Leave him alone. And so after he has sex with the woman, the woman in the island there, the islander woman there, who's walking around with like a little leather outfit on. I'm like, what the hell is that? Anyway, he's like, he sleeps with her and he's like, he goes back to his girlfriend. He's like, okay, let's get out of here. We get the four of us are back now. You saved us all, and he's like, no, I can't leave now. I was like, wow, man. He's just like, I got something, so I'm not leaving. You don't know, man. She's so good, And the thing was, she keeps on telling him how he has to become the warrior. How he has to become a man. He has to become the warrior. That's the island woman, right? And she's like, finally, she gives him some potion thing, right? She gives him this weird, like, potion thing. And, she's like, oh, here's the mystical potion, He drinks it. He's having this crazy nightmare, like this crazy-ass nightmare and stuff. And it's, that's part of the thing. You have to, like, defeat. She's like, in order to defeat Voss, you have to become the warrior. You have to, I'm like, goddamn, really? What about the other, like, 500 guys I killed to get here. I was like, I must have knifed like 200 people. You know how evil it is to like stabbing some people right in the neck, like grabbing them from behind and just knifing them right in the neck. That's like pretty goddamn. I mean, that I must have like the most insane case of PTSD, like crazy murder. I'm like the biggest murderer, and that freaking I must be like serial killer galore, right? But she's like, here, drink this, and this will, let you, show you the way, and all this. I'm like, all right, whatever. I drink the stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm crazy, I'm crap, and I'm like, all right, that's sort of cool. Whatever, it looks good. Whatever, and so when he wakes up, she's like on top of him, straddling him, naked. Right? So I was like, wait a minute. I was like, God, really? So that's what happened. Now she ends up, I was thinking, so she finally, they finally had, I kept on thinking, are they gonna have sex or something in this, or what? Like, something weird going on, or I wasn't thinking like, oh, when are they gonna have sex? They finally gonna do it or something? I was just like, is there something like kind of sexual going on? Because she was acting very like sexual, like very erotic when she was walking around talking to him and stuff. And so I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay. And then suddenly, so suddenly he wakes up, and she's on top of him naked. And I was thinking, wait, so she just like raped him? That's what happened? Like, I was like, so, I was like, while he was knocked out, she like had sex with him? No, I'm not going to get into all this stuff about rape and all this stuff and everything, but I was thinking, a lot of guys wouldn't be like okay with that. There'd be a lot of guys who might be like, say if they had a girlfriend, and this guy does, say if he had a wife or a girlfriend or something like that, they're not going to be too happy about that, And, matter of fact, most women would probably be like, telling you to go to the police. And it is a real thing for a guy who could be really upset about something like that. He could be like, what if it's like a guy who's married and has a family or something, and 6 months later, suddenly she comes up to you and is like, oh, I'm pregnant, by the way, this is our baby. I'm having your baby, or whatever. And too bad for your, home life or whatever, Not that I'm saying women do that all the time, but it is a guy, if a guy come up to me and said, I got knocked out, and suddenly I woke up and there was this woman on top of me, this girl I met last night or something, and now I'm scared, like maybe she might get pregnant or something. I would think that was very serious. I would be, if I thought the guy was upset about it, I wouldn't laugh at him and be like, "Hi, well, what are you complaining about? You just got laid." I think the guy, I would imagine the guy could be, or be very upset about it. If he was acting like that, I wouldn't just think he was being stupid or something. So, like, all right, so, whatever, he's on there. but then suddenly when he goes up to his girlfriend and he's like, no, I'm not going back. He's like, wait, you're not going back? And I was like, oh, goddamn, I need 2 more of those things. Okay. I was like, you're not going back? Right? And it seemed like, no, man. You know how good she was? She was so awesome. You can't believe it, guys. You don't know. It's like right after I woke up from unconsciousness. Like, god damn, this story is. I was like, god damn, this game is so bad. It was just. Okay, here's the thing. There was one point I stopped and I was thinking, because it was the very first time I stopped and thought, like, really a lot, that it dawned on me that I was playing a game really, really made for like a 15-year-old, like adolescent boy, like a 15-year-old little like boy, like a young boy, you know. And basically, I was thinking, I don't know, 15, 16-year-old boy or something. I was thinking more like a 14-year-old boy who would imagine this was like some kind of great thing, Oh, but the story was about. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, the story is about him sort of putting his childhood things away and becoming a man, or whatever, and his girlfriend pestering him about becoming a man. I'm like, wait a minute, that's something like 25, 30-year-old guys have to deal with. It's not something like 19-year-old kids are dealing with. And I got the feeling it was like, God damn, the writer of this was like, yeah, it's happened to me. I remember my girlfriend bothering me about it. He's like a 35-year-old guy, like he's like 30 years old or something. It's just like, and I just kept getting the feeling that it was, that maybe the guy who had been writing the story thinking, or whoever it was writing the story, was imagining an older, like the person who was supposed to be like the guy in the story was supposed to be like an older guy. Like this would have been a story for like a 25-year-old guy, some guy, in his 20s, mid to late 20s or something. But then suddenly, they wrote it in like a vacuum. They weren't writing it where, they didn't, like, they wrote it ahead of time before the game or something. The game was made, and let me kill the skeleton. And like like he never realized that they were going to make the story about this like 18 or 19-year-old kid. Then they would be, then presumably when he or she saw it, was like, what? Oh, oh crap. Or I don't know, because the guy was on like a vacation. He was, I was like, what the hell? He was on like some kind of spring break vacation, so presumably he was in like, he looked like he was in like his first year of college, So I was thinking, well, presumably then he was a fairly young guy. I don't know, but anyway, but I really strongly suddenly had this impression like, oh my God, this is written for like 14-year-old boys. Like 14, 15, 16-year-old boys. And it made me feel really weird. I never had that experience before. I never sort of felt like that before. Where I was thinking, oh man. Because I played plenty of other games where I played the game and I was, and I've played like other games that would be considered sort of, kids games or whatever, anything like that, and I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me. Actually, it doesn't bother me at all, generally. I can play a Barbie game and it doesn't bother me. As long as the game is actually fun, But for the first time, I was sitting there going like, wow, this is like a little kid's game, and it's not a little kid's game, but this is specifically for like, 14 to 17-year-old range boys, like, young boys. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, God damn, I felt weird playing it, Suddenly, and it suddenly dawned on me, when it dawned on me, I suddenly felt weird about playing it. I was like, wow. But I was having so much fun with it. I was having so much fun shooting people and stuff. It's like a great time shooting people. The mechanics are really solid in the game. I mean, really solid. And I don't know, I was wondering about that. I was like, am I just getting too old? Or I felt funny about it. I was like, am I getting too old to be playing these? Or I don't feel funny about playing other ones. That was something I was thinking about. I'm wondering, if you're listening to this, I'm wondering, have you ever come across a point where that happened to you? Where you're just like, playing something and thought, this is really weird, I'm too old for this. Or, I don't know, like, this is for girls or something and I'm a boy, I'm a guy, or, I don't know, whatever. Where you just had this weird revelation and it just suddenly, it suddenly dawned on you and you were like, wow. you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't know. That's what. So anyway, that was the game was doing that. And, there were a number of other things where it was just a number of things that just kept going on. And what killed me was I had this one mission where it was a long mission, a timed mission. We had to get to a point where it was timed. You had to get to a certain spot, fight these guys, do all this stuff, like, do all this crap, and then do this other thing, and then when you did it, when I did it, the game crashed on me. And I was like, no. And I thought, well, okay, obviously, like a cutscene happened, and the game crashed on me at the end of the cutscene. And I was thinking, well, obviously the game's going to start at the beginning of the cutscene. Right? I mean, that's where it would have auto-saved. And no, it didn't. It started me at the beginning of the mission where I had the time spot where I had to run off, and I was like, no. You're kidding me. It was just stuff like that kept happening to me, and I was like, wow. It just kept on doing stuff like that to me, and I was like, but the thing is, it's so much fun to like just attack these bases and the outposts and shoot the guns, and when the missions aren't forcing me to do certain stuff, when it'll be like, assault this base and get to this point, get somewhere to this point, and like, okay, and it just lets me do it the way I want to do it. It's fine. But it never lets me do it the way I want to do it. It keeps trying to force me to do it the way I have to do it, because that's the way you have to do it. It's because that's the way the story goes. You have to do it because that's the way the story is. You have to jump in a helicopter and be holding a handgun, because you can't be holding your sniper rifle and shoot that guy with a rocket launcher, because the helicopter has to get shot. Because you have to be such a badass. You keep getting living, and like, oh man, I'm like, it's like, no, stop, no. Leave me alone. The game, I haven't come across a game recently that was so where it just where it just won't let you go, where it just won't let you do what you want to do, where it's just constantly screwing, like constantly trying to step in and force you to do this and do that and do this and do that. And I haven't experienced that in a while. I mean, Far Cry 3 isn't old. Well, it's not old. I mean, it's not that old. but it's just I haven't had a game do that to me in such a long time. I guess that I was just sort of shocked by it. It was, it was, where it was just like forcing you to go on the mission. Like nothing can happen unless it's set up that way. And I was like, wow, okay. And it just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And it was just driving me nuts. And okay, anyway, I won't go, I've gone into it for like 40 minutes now. Who am I kidding? But there was more. There was absolutely more. There was a lot more, I swear to you. And I could go on about it. But this is already too long. I've been going on about it for too long. So I'm going to end up having to split this into 2 episodes, I think. And there's... I guess I'll split it up into the episode before I start talking about this. And maybe this will be the episode where I'm just talking about this stuff. So... but anyway... It was just goddamn hilarious. I was just having such a funny time. I've yet to play a game like this where I burst out laughing at the game in a long time. That hasn't happened to me in a long time, if ever. Where I just felt like the game was trying to like say, "Oh my God, watch! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!" And I was like, "What?" It's like listening to a little kid try to tell you, like, why did the chicken cross the road jokes, or something. Oh my God, they're so funny. And like, oh, they're so, oh my God, they're trying to, and you're like, well, they were funny when you were like 10. You know what I mean? Like, but they're not funny anymore. Or they're not that funny to me. And I don't mean to be like, I wouldn't be mean to a younger kid and be like, yeah, I just sort of be like, oh wow, that's that's cute, wow. Or I'd go on with the kid and be like, oh wow, it's funny, and I wouldn't. But I mean, I wouldn't like burst his bubble and take it away from him, But I mean, as an adult, you could only hear it, and you only hear it so many times before you're like, it's not that funny to you anymore, or it's not amusing to you. It doesn't have the same effect at you because you've heard it so much, And yeah, that's, And so, wow, why is that thing? Look at that. These chests keep disappearing. See that? When I turn at a certain angle, they disappear. See that there in the bottom corner there? Yeah. But I was just having like, it was just making me laugh so hard. I was going to come on here and just start talking about it. But anyway, I just did. So there was a lot more to it than that. But anyway, okay. But okay, let's see. I guess I could split this up into 2 45-minute episodes. Yeah, that'll come out just about right. Or maybe 2 50-minute episodes, or 20. No, okay, 45-minute episodes, I guess. That'll do. That should be about right. That was about the time I started talking about it. So, okay, yeah. So anyway, hope it didn't offend anyone. I hope it didn't swear too much where it was bothering anyone. I'll put up a little warning there for this episode, but I think most of the people listening to this are okay with it. Alright, you know what, I'll wait till these are done, these are cooked. There's only 4 left there. I'll cook them up and then I'll lay them down and then I'll end the episode, so. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you I was just having a laugh riot with this game. And there was no particular, I mean, you could certainly play the game and be playing it and get into the story and not have a problem with the story. I mean, you could certainly, like, the story's fine, but it just sort of dawned on, like, it sort of occurred to me that was the idea of what was going on, and just when it got into my head, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So, it's just from that point on, I was like, God, that's what this is, really. Or at least for me, it was. Like, it could be not for you, but for me, that's what it was coming out as. And I have to admit, it was just the point where the guy kept on, like, not letting me do what I wanted, not letting me go. And kept trying to force me to do stuff that was making it worse for me, It was like maybe even more, thinking of it even more, worse, But I still have, the thing is, I still have fun with the game. I still like it. I'm still playing it. So, I would play stuff like that on a Let's Play, but I don't think anybody's interested in stuff like that. I'm not sure that people would be interested in that. Wow, that's all 64 did, huh? Damn. Yeah, I'm not really that sure people would be that interested in it. So, because I don't see it, I get a feeling like games where you're just running around shooting stuff isn't that. I mean, it's not that, I don't think it's that captivating and that interesting, and generally those games don't have any story. Don't have very much story to them. To a point where, should I put that? Yeah, I will. Okay. Yeah, I mean, other than just seeing how the game, I could see me doing like a 2-shot episode or something like that, so you can see what the game is like. But I don't see doing a whole series on doing the whole game, where I just can't imagine it's that interesting to watch somebody else just running around shooting people. It's fun when you're playing it, It would have been, if you heard me laughing and stuff, you would have been like just dying. If you heard me just bursting out on this game, you would have been hilarious. But I didn't know that was going to happen, So I wasn't recording it or anything. So anyway, there I stick down the bricks, and there, that's it. I'm going to end this session, and I'm going to continue on again and do the rest of this. Just keep on with another brick and do the rest. So, what I will do is I will cook up on my own time, off time. I'll cook up the rest of this nether brick, so you don't have to sit here waiting for me to this nether rack. You don't have to wait for me to finish doing this stuff. So, anyway, I hope that wasn't a weird rant about that game. It is a good game. I enjoyed it. I recommend it actually to anybody. It's actually a lot of fun. But just, when I get in a fit of giggles like that, and I'm looking at the game like in a certain way, I just can't stop it, You can't erase the thought of it in your head. So, anyway, this Bunnysays, thank you for joining me, and goodbye for now.